Do you remember when the Reed parents got a divorce and sent their kids to live in an orphanage?
We don't want to be orphans like an Oliver twins.
Hey everyone, FUDW is back with a brand new batch of videos. I know it's been a hot minute since my last FUDW, but hey, better late than never. Also, if you missed my last video, I am teaming up with the folks at Gimme Swag to make a plushie out of the iconic FUDW logo. So check out the link in the description to pre-order your FUDW plushie today for just $2. We only have until July 11th to get 100 pre-orders, so get yours now before it's too late. If we can get 100 pre-orders before the campaign ends, I will make a ranking video for every episode of Arthur. That's right, I will rank all 500 episodes of Arthur from F tier to S tier. That is how excited I am for this new plushie. So click the link in the description to pre-order your FUDW plushie now before it's too late. Also, make sure to subscribe so we can hit 60,000 subscribers and I can finally release my review for Elmo in Grouchland. This might be the most insane kids movie I have ever seen. Let's not waste any more time and delve right in. This video is brought to you by viewers like you. Thank you. Make sure to turn on notifications and help get this video to 5,000 likes.
And I say, hey!
The episode opens with the Reed parents scrambling to prepare dinner at the last second. Turns out David forgot his friends were coming over for dinner. Wait, are they actually his friends, or are they just his kids' friends' parents? Their meal prep gets interrupted by the screams of the Antichrist. DW runs in crying that Arthur doesn't want to play. Arthur is so mad that he puts his fist through the chair.
How can I do homework if she's staring at me like this?
You could try covering her face with a pillow. I think we'd all appreciate that. The Reed parents tell their daughter to stop pestering Arthur to play with her, but DW says he won't play with her unless she pesters him. Clearly, DW operates on stalker logic. Arthur is so used to being the family cuck that he gives in to DW's demands without his parents having to say a single word. Things go from bad to worse when the Reed parents start to cry over spilt milk. Mrs. Reed spills a whole pitcher of milk all over the floor. Or rather, she's about to when Nadine randomly shows up to take over the show. Aw, come on, you can't tease an epic spill like that and then not pay it off. Nadine spends 40 seconds edging the audience before finally delivering on the money shot. Nadine insists on telling the story from her point of view, even though she's just the delusion of a bratty little girl who wasn't even in the room when all this shit went down. The Reed parents make a mess of the kitchen, while baby Kate applauds the impending implosion of her family. Nadine decides to rewind time, because I guess Nadine is God now. At least the animators save some money by playing this scene in reverse. We then see the exact same scene, but from DW's perspective, because what child doesn't love a good Rashomon homage? A Rashomage. Arthur agrees to play with DW, but only after he's finished his homework. Nerd. The pigtailed twerp says it's not fair that her parents are so fair, and wishes they would always take her side no matter what. Bitch, what show have you been on for the past 25 years? All your parents do is kiss your spoiled little ass. DW imagines what it'd be like if her parents always agreed with her, which again, isn't that different from how they normally act.
Stop that, Arthur.
You were looking at DW without smiling.
Again, which part of this is supposed to be an exaggeration? Since Arthur's busy, DW decides to play with herself. She hears the crash in the kitchen, and guess what her gut reaction is?
I didn't do it!
That might as well be her catchphrase. We then see what happened after the great big spill.
How could you do that? They'll be here any minute.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Back off, David. You're the one who put the pitcher on the table in the first place, dumbass.
I don't have time to argue about this.
You're the one who's arguing about it, David. You're the one who's arguing about it. Stop gaslighting your wife, you lumpy dough sack. God, jeez. Hoot. DW overhears her parents arguing in the kitchen and then runs upstairs to tell her brother. Arthur tells her to make like her pet bird and drop dead until he sees that she's scared. And if something scares DW, then we should all be scared. DW insists on recapping the same scene we've already seen twice now. Forget Rashomon, this feels like reading a Xerox of a Xerox. Are any of you old enough to remember Xerox machines? DW explains how she was playing her board game with Nadine.
Hey, if you can play with Nadine, why do you need me to play?
Good f***ing question, Arthur. DW claims she witnessed their dad batter their mom about the cake batter, though I don't think she actually heard what they said. They sound like Charlie Brown's parents if they spoke Durka Durka.
Oh, Durka Durka Durka.
Arthur demands to know what they actually said, but DW insists that's not important, because when has DW ever cared about the facts? DW thinks their parents hate each other, and turns on the crocodile tears to be a f***ing drama queen. Arthur decides to take matters into his own hands, since there's no way he's trusting the word of a little girl who once tried to convince him that snakes have legs. Arthur is shocked to find DW was actually telling the truth, as he overhears his parents bickering in the kitchen. Kind of. How can you all not hear what they're saying? Your heads are 50% ears. The two assume their parents are having a great big fight, and DW claims it's all Arthur's fault.
If you had just played with me, you wouldn't have had to bother them.
If your parents hadn't played with each other 5 years ago, you wouldn't be bothering anybody. Arthur says it's DW's fault for always being a massive pain, and the doughy-eyed dope struggles to come up with a clever comeback.
You wear glasses!
Damn, DW, why you gotta hit him below the belt like that? DW worries her parents will never want to speak to each other again, but at least she'll get twice as many Christmases. Wait, does that paper say finance or Fwance? I've been to Fwance. DW fears her parents will get divorced and her dad will abandon them for Mr. Ratburn. The kids say they can't live without their dad, since their mom apparently has no clue how to feed her children.
Your father always made breakfast.
Do you not know how to pour a bowl of cornflakes? The kids then imagine what it'd be like to live with their father and his new partner, juvenile diabetes.
Dig in. You know what I always say. Dig in.
I didn't realize David was an NPC. Everything seems like it would be great. Or would it?
Your mother took the car when she left.
Gee, if only Mr. Reed had his own motor vehicle. DW worries her parents will want separate custody of the kids, and Arthur imagines what it'd be like to live without DW. Don't we all? Arthur thinks it would be paradise, until he realizes his dad would also get custody of Pal. I knew it was too good to be true. Also, their parents split custody and the dad gets DW and the dog. David needs a better divorce lawyer. DW worries their parents might abandon them altogether, though I think they'd be justified in abandoning one of their children.
We'll be organs.
And which organ would you be? You're already a dick and an asshole. Arthur worries they could end up trapped in a 19th century orphanage, like Oliver Twist.
May I have some ore?
You want some ore? There, that's some ore, huh?
That pun felt a little wooden. The Reed kids make a pact to take care of each other if their parents abandon them. They imagine what it'd be like to live on their own, because in the late 90s, even runaway orphans could afford decent housing.
Blah! We can't cook.
How is David the only one in the family who knows how food works? Arthur starts to realize how difficult it would be to take care of a baby, and also Kate. He tries to sing Kate a lullaby and causes her to pass out from secondhand embarrassment.
You've been awake for so long now, so you can go to sleep.
Not to dunk on the voice actor, but some PBS executive heard that singing voice and said, let's give that kid a 3-album deal. What could possibly go wrong? DW admits she misses their parents, and the show randomly drops this banger of a quote out of thin air.
I never knew you could feel this lonely, even when you're not alone.
Damn, that's some Spy Kids 2 level philosophical shit. DW finally admits that it's her fault her family is so f***ed up.
I wish that Mom and Dad were different, and now they are.
Karma's a bitch, ain't it? The kids tiptoe downstairs, where they hear their parents arguing over who should go. David insists on leaving, and DW reacts by strangling the air out of her brother's lungs. The kids beg their dad not to go, but David says he has to. Their dad reveals he's leaving to get milk, but he actually means it this time. Arthur quickly figures out his dad is just going to the store, but that doesn't stop DW from being a blabbermouth.
You and Mommy don't really hate each other. You're going to the store?
Bravo, DW. Bravo. Arthur laughs so hard at his sister's screw-up that his retinas fall out of his eyes. The Reed parents assure DW they still love each other, but also insist that arguing is a normal part of any healthy family dynamic.
You and Arthur fight, but it doesn't stop you from loving each other.
Again, what show have you been on for the past 25 years? Instead of talking things through like a family, the Reed parents completely brush off their kids' concerns, while DW pats herself on the back for supposedly solving the problem. The episode ends with Nadine returning to summarize the moral of the episode.
Don't put your milk close to the edge, because somebody's gonna knock it over.
You hear that, David? Let's review. DW made her parents' stressful dinner party even more stressful by starting a pointless argument with her brother. When she overheard her parents fighting, she automatically assumed they were going to get a divorce, and made her brother worry for no reason. She stretched the truth to make it seem like her parents hate each other, which honestly they probably do. She feared she and her brother would have to run away to survive on their own, and knowing DW, she probably wouldn't last a week. And even when it turned out they weren't getting a divorce, the Reed parents failed to recognize the effect their arguing has on their kids. They instead chose to sweep it under the rug and ignore their children's very real emotional reactions to what they perceived as the end of their family. So, F you Mr. and Mrs. Reed for fighting over petty bullcrap in front of your children, and then completely brushing off their concerns when they confronted you about it. And of course, for exaggerating the truth and making her brother think that their parents were going to split up, F you DW. Thanks for watching, everyone. Let me know in the comments which cartoon brat you want me to tear into next. Make sure to check out the link in the description to pre-order your FUDW plushie before time runs out. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.
Next time on FUDW.
I got it!
DW, wait! But I didn't get there in time.
Arthur did it!
And I say, hey, what a wonderful kind of day. If we could learn to work and play and get along with each other.